It began with a question, one that echoed through the ages. A lawyer, seeking to test Jesus, asked, "Teacher, what must I do to inherit eternal life?" Little did he know, the answer would come not as a lecture, but as a story, one filled with danger, compassion, and an unexpected hero. Listen closely, for this story could change the way you see your neighbors and yourself. The lawyer stood before Jesus, his tone respectful yet probing. "What must I do to inherit eternal life?" he asked. Jesus, as always, answered with wisdom. "What is written in the law? How do you read it?" The lawyer replied, "Love the Lord your God with all your heart, with all your soul, with all your strength, and with all your mind, and love your neighbor as yourself." "You have answered correctly," Jesus said. "Do this, and you will live." But the lawyer wasn't satisfied. He pressed further, asking, "And who is my neighbor?" And so, Jesus began his story. A man was traveling from Jerusalem to Jericho, a treacherous journey through a barren and rocky landscape. The road was notorious for its dangers, with bandits hiding in the shadows, waiting to pounce on unsuspecting travelers. The man walked cautiously, his sandals crunching against the gravel. But then they came. The man barely saw them before it was too late. Bandits sprang from their hiding places, surrounding him. They beat him mercilessly, stole his money and clothes, and left him battered and bleeding on the side of the road. The man groaned weakly, his vision blurring as he lay in the dirt. The road was silent once more. Hope flickered as the sound of footsteps approached. A priest, dressed in fine robes, came down the road. Surely he would help. But the priest glanced at the injured man, his face tightening with discomfort. Without breaking stride, he crossed to the other side of the road and hurried past. Moments later, another set of footsteps echoed on the road. A Levite, a respected temple assistant, approached. He slowed, his eyes scanning the injured man. But after a moment's hesitation, the Levite shook his head and walked away, just like the priest before him. Then came a Samaritan riding on a donkey. Samaritans were despised by the Jews, treated as outcasts. No one would have expected him to stop. But when the Samaritan saw the injured man, his heart was moved with compassion. He knelt beside him, gently cleaning and bandaging his wounds with oil and wine. Then, lifting the man onto his donkey, he led him to safety. The Samaritan brought the man to an inn, where he cared for him through the night. The next morning, he handed 2 silver coins to the innkeeper. "Take care of him," he said, "and whatever more you spend, I will repay you when I return." The Samaritan left, his heart at peace, knowing he had done what was right. Jesus finished his story and looked at the lawyer. "Which of these 3 do you think was a neighbor to the man who fell into the hands of robbers?" The lawyer replied, "The one who had mercy on him, the Samaritan." Jesus said, "Go and do likewise." The story of the Good Samaritan reminds us that kindness and love have no boundaries. It challenges us to see everyone as our neighbor, regardless of their background or status. Will you be the Samaritan today? Let's bring compassion to a world that desperately needs it. If this story inspired you, please like, share, and subscribe for more powerful retellings of timeless truths. And remember, go and do likewise.